So about 2 years ago, I uploaded a video titled, I Enjoy CS2. In that video, I tried my best to explain my optimism with CS2 going forward and how I was actually really enjoying the game a lot more than everybody else seemed to. If I'm being honest with myself, that video is very all over the place and it doesn't do a very good job at explaining how I was feeling at the time at all. Obviously, in these 2 years, a lot has changed about the game and I kind of wanted to revisit that topic and kind of share my opinions about the state of CS2 now. First thing I wanted to go over was how the game is feeling. The last 2 years have had a lot of ups and downs, to say the very least. At the time of me recording that video, it was shortly after the Michael Jackson swings had gotten patched out and that bug was fixed. We've come a long way since then, and it seems like recently they focused a lot on the movement of the game. The movement in the game right now is actually really good. Obviously, I think B-hopping might be still a little bit too easy, but it's not unrealistic. Now, they did try to patch the, people that were using configs to help with, capping your FPS by changing it so you can't cap your FPS in-game anymore, which is a terrible fix in my opinion. But aside from that, the game does feel really good right now. As for the shooting in the game, I can't really attest to using the damage prediction setting. I never turned it on. But to me, the shooting feels really good. One of my good friends, who's a diehard of Counter-Strike, he's easily the best player I know personally, says that the game feels too easy now. He says that they give out headshots. He says that it feels like Valorant. When it comes to Valorant gunfights, they're a lot slower. They're a lot more about tapping and a lot more about headshots than it is in Counter-Strike. You know, obviously in Counter-Strike, there's a lot more spraying because there's no bloom. Comparing CS2 to CSGO, I agree with him in that it is a lot more viable to kind of tap out your enemies and take your time in your fights, but it's still far from Valorant. Shooting in CS2 feels much more like Counter-Strike than it did when the game first came out. It may be rose-tinted glasses, but the shooting in CS2 still does not feel as good as CSGO, and likely never will. In all honesty, that could just be nostalgia talking, I'm not too sure, but either way, the game does feel very Counter-Strike. The next thing I wanted to cover was the content in the game. Now, there's two ways to approach this argument. There's the gameplay content, and there's the general content of the game. So going over the things that have been added to the game with the cases, the armory, the new collections from the drop pool, all of that is all really good stuff. It's all really great. The skins, guys, are eating good right now. Contrasting that, though, when it comes to actual gameplay updates, let's see. There's been Train. There's been the Season 2 and Season 3 of Premiere that you get a badge for. And that's really about it. The single biggest struggle I've been having with CS2 is that it's really difficult for me to sit there and grind that game. A lot of it does have to do with my friends not playing it nearly as much as they did before. They either got bored of it, don't want to grind it, or they're playing other games or doing other things, which is totally fine. I have nothing bad to say about that. I believe that a lot of it has to do with the lack of incentive to play. When the Armory first came out, it was definitely the peak of me and my friends playing the game. We were constantly grinding stars, wanted to get, the new case and everything. But now there's just not a lot bringing us back. Sure, we could play Premiere and get another, colored badge that we already have, but there's really is just not a lot of incentive to really sit there and grind the game. Now, obviously, that was also a problem back in CSGO. I mean, that's why everybody played Face It, because it was actually something tangible, but it just seems to hit extra hard with CS2, and I don't really know exactly why that is. Recently, I've been having the most fun just queuing competitive and just kind of trolling, hopping around and playing to try to hit clips. It's just been more fun for me recently than Premiere and actually trying has been. Like I said before, that could probably be fixed if I found more people to play with that wanted to try and grind the ranks and stuff. But as of right now, that's just where I'm at with it. Last but not least, I wanted to go over how I feel about the future of CS2 and where I'm kind of at with the longevity of it. Similarly to how I felt back when I made the original video 2 years ago, I am extremely optimistic about the future of Counter-Strike. I don't think that Counter-Strike dies with this game. The core Counter-Strike community, the people that watch the majors, the people that play occasionally, and obviously the case openers, that audience will never die. There are too many die-hard Counter-Strike fans for this game to truly die. Right now, it feels like there are more big names playing Counter-Strike than there was when the game first came out 2 years ago. A lot of them are using it as a vehicle to buy content through opening cases, with Tim the Tatman and Nadeshot in them. But even with that, back in 2015, 2016, 2017, what blew Counter-Strike up on YouTube and on Twitch was opening cases. And that's how a lot of people got their start in Counter-Strike, was through the cases. So even if those guys are just using it to buy content and they aren't true diehards, obviously I can't speak for them, they still are bringing eyes to the game, and a lot of people seem to be enjoying seeing Counter-Strike again, which is an amazing thing to hear. And that's not even including all the leaks we've gotten recently. I mean, supposedly there's a new type of case coming out. There's an auction system coming to the armory. Like, this is all really good stuff that is absolutely going to bring people's eyes back onto Counter-Strike, whether it be the OGs or the new players. The game is in a great state for growth, which is not something you could have said 2 years ago. I am very hopeful for the future, but I do hope that we get more gameplay content updates in the future. You know, obviously we have Cash on the way, but I really do think that they need to do more with Premiere. They need to make it more, like, worth grinding it. There needs to be more incentive there to play. What that exactly is, I'm not too sure. But obviously, on top of that, they need to work out the cheaters. There's still way too many cheaters in that game. And if you don't play Face It, you're going to get matched with cheaters. It's ridiculous. But if those two things come true, this game is going to soar, and there's no doubt in my mind. Despite me not playing the game nearly as much as I was 2 years ago, it's very obvious that I am still enjoying it, and I am still very hopeful for the future. I do plan on continuing to play it in the future, even if it is maybe less than I am right now even, but I still will always probably play Counter-Strike. But yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.